Hello, peace and love. Welcome back to what is it, 9?
Week 9. Can you guys believe that? Week 9 of our 12-week workshop. And I know we're throwing you off because we have a new background, not like Eric's background, but nonetheless, Eric is showing us his background right now. Nonetheless, we have a new background because we have some really, really fun things that we're going to jump into today. Hope you guys had an awesome week. Sending you light and love as always, and we're going to jump right into it. We have so many special, wonderful facilitators today to talk about creative expression. So I will be sharing my screen.
We didn't put on our bug spray.
Nope, no bug spray here. Just begin eating alive, guys. It's gonna be fun though. All right. Always want to start off by giving you guys our information, just in case you're not here with us at the end. Please be sure to follow us and follow our journey, Humanity 360 at
Who is that?
365.com. Who's who?
What are they following? You're like,
Humanity?
follow my journey.
I was so excited about the presenters today. I'm literally trying to jump into it. I didn't even introduce ourselves. Guys, my name is Shantice.
And I'm Cedrica.
And we are founder and co-founder of Humanity 360. We are a nonprofit founded out of the Washington, D.C. area. And we seek to improve conditions for people who are dealing with mental stress by providing coping skills and other resources for them in the community. So please check us out when you get a chance. We're about to dive into some great content.
She's so excited.
I really am excited, guys. I know you can tell, right? Hey, creative expression.
Let's set the mood. Thank you for choosing you today. No matter what your day has looked like in the past, you have taken time to activate joy factors right now today. For that, you should be applauded and awarded.
You're here again. Thank you.
Be prepared to take the next however long you take to actively engage in various methods of stress reduction. Each activity, exercise, and all property presented was created by Humanity 360 and is based on personal experience only. Grab your utensil and a few sheets of paper. Remember, this is strictly about you and finding ways to connect with your true, authentic self.
All about you, always. A few friendly reminders, we are recording this webinar. Please remember to ask questions. There are no dumb questions. We have a chat box that you can utilize in the bottom. Remember to keep your line on mute if you're not talking. We're not here to sell or endorse any products, and we strongly encourage everyone to do their own research, as we are not physicians and we only share what has personally worked for us.
Woo! Today's
Look
agenda.
At that agenda. That's the thickest agenda you guys have ever seen. I know. No, so when you think about creative expression, you know, a lot of different people, well, especially people that we have met in our journey, they have really shown us that creative expression is literally it's passion. It's your passion and what you love, right? And you can see that on someone's face as they are doing whatever it is that they're doing. Like, you can see passion. And so we try to take passion and translate it into a healthy coping mechanism by using it as a creative expression. So we have a number of people who are going to come here and express their creative juices, and hopefully you guys can take away some things that can help you as you express yourself creatively. And then we'll invite you to next week. Ooh, next week. I'm not gonna get excited about that one yet, guys. I'm gonna keep it going. As
always, thank you, Black Coffee, for giving us the space to be able to convene and to share these tools. We are so grateful for this partnership. You have no idea.
Here, you want to come be a part of our workshop? Come on, we're live. We have somebody about to join us, huh? Humanity 360. We do mental health awareness in Black communities. Yeah. So, brother, you are more than welcome. We're about to get into some real good stuff here, man. I'm serious. So we're going to be over here for 2 hours, so you can join us whenever you feel like it. This is what it's about right here, y'all. Y'all saw that, right? That's what it's about. We love you, brother. If you're not following Black Coffee Company, please do.
Creative space.
I took the time to briefly try to define what creative expression means to us. So I look at it as, and I did adapt this from a source that I cited later on. It's a personal process that does not require special skills or formal training. It doesn't even have to be shared with anyone else. Excuse me. The more energy you put into it, the less room there is for fear, self-pity, and anger. You're basically disrupting the thoughts that lead to stress and anxiety when you engage in creative expression. The most commonly used expressions are art, writing, movement, and music. So with that in mind, we're going to move right into it as we move through each one of those modalities and have someone come on to express how they use these expressions to creatively express themselves, and about a little bit about their story and their journey. So without further ado, would that be on for this time?
I think, yeah.
Without further ado, we're gonna introduce our first facilitator.
Expert,
Yes.
our sister.
So whether it's coloring, drawing, or painting, creating visual images can be used to express your emotions. So that is the general thing about art. But what I love about creative expression is the uniqueness that each person brings with them. And so without further ado, we would love to introduce our sister, Queen. Are you there, Queen? I think you're on mute.
Yeah.
There you go.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I love what you guys do, and anytime I get to be a part of anything you're doing, it's like, that's an honor for me. Okay, y'all have to bear with me. I'm sorry I'm all over the place today. It's just
Take your time.
I'm loving the new location.
Please find another one. Yeah, so this is what so when you guys see me do the painting with the 23 brushes, that's for, work stuff. But this is like my personal mental health, like decompression mode. I would just sit down. I even like to just go outside and find a really nice tree and put my whole there and just paint like right under the tree. It's good that, yes, you are, painting to work on emotions that you're dealing with, or relieve stress, but environment plays a major part of that. So try to get a good setting. So if you guys got a patio, go sit outside on the patio, go outside to the park. None of this is charging my phone, so I don't know. But what I thought we would do today was, normally I do like, a paint and sip where you guys follow me, break the painting down. But what I do for my own mental health is I do abstract art. And the reason why I like to do that is because when I'm doing abstract, I don't have to follow by anybody's particular design, pattern, or rule, It's just what I'm feeling. And, colors in art are connected to your emotions. So when you see a lot of red, that's a lot of passion, it could be passion, it could be rage, but it's a strong emotion. Blue is like when you're calm and tranquil. So when you're using these colors and you go just by what you feel, you're really getting to express what you feel on your canvas. So I don't know how many of you guys brought paint with you. If you have the paint, just break out a few colors with you guys really quick. If you don't have paint and you have markers and stuff, this is perfectly okay. Remember, there's no rule or pattern that you have to follow, but I would grab the first color that speaks to your energy right now, and I would use that color to just begin to just draw something on your paper. So I'm gonna start and show you guys what I mean. I took out some yellow, and I guess that could be because I'm kind of in a very high energy mood right now. I'm kind of like moving fast, but I'm sure that by the time I'm done with this, I'll be calmer. This is gonna help me. But I just got some paint and I just put on my little canvas. Now you can do it on an easel like this. Something I like to do when I do abstract is I like to take the canvas and lay it flat like this. And I like to just drop the paint in a little blob in a few areas on the canvas. And this is when I'll start pulling out my different colors at this point. And I'll just put a few little drops in a few little areas that I want to see that paint at.
So while you're dropping, can you explain how you got into art, as like your journey to art, how it may have helped you or saved you many times?
Yes, and that's exactly what it did. It saved me. It did. In about 2015, I got stuck here in Virginia. I live here. Came here with 2 suitcases and wound up getting stuck. I had a whole house in Miami, Florida, a whole life. I had a fiance, I had a car, I had everything. But things happened and I got stuck here in that moment, and I went through a dark depression. It's the darkest place I've ever found myself in. And every day it's a fight to not go into that place, or to be reminded of that place, I should say, or put myself in situations that remind me of that place. But when I was going through it, I used to paint when I was younger. I've always been an artsy craft person, always. But of course, when you go on your journey, and especially for the type of depression I was dealing with, I had a dark journey that got me to that journey. So I didn't have beautiful colors and paint and things on my mind. Right. So being here and going through that, I had a friend, my little brother, he wanted to go to the art store and buy paint. He just wanted to try to paint for himself. He's been trying to find himself. So of course I'm going to support that. So we went and we brought him some paint. I got some for me too, so we could all start painting. And that moment, I remembered the control I had when I was painting, that I wasn't just lost in being down or being hard on myself or beating myself up in that depression. It was more about, in that moment, wow, look at this. It was more of me enjoying what I was doing in that moment. And when I realized that, I just went back to the store and I kept buying art supplies. My little brother stopped painting because he said his paintings didn't look right, but I kept going. So it also helped me to break a social barrier that I had for myself. When I went through the depression, I lost a lot of social skills that I had. So getting back into art, I started finding art calls and I started submitting my artwork, and I got exhibited in the Children's Museum in DC. So I got a few exhibits, and it helped to boost my confidence. It helped me feel better about myself, to get back out there again. And then that just opened up the doors for me to just refine myself, and not even refine myself because I'm not the person who I used to be. I'm nothing like that person, but it allowed me to open doors to be able to meet the person who I am and am becoming. So art has been a major, major, major player for me. Big deal.
Wow.
And it's just gotten to the point where, you know, for example, when I was here visiting, not knowing I was going to get stuck here, we have a place over here called the Torpedo Art Factory. I just so happened to go on a date into the Torpedo Art Factory with my current fiance, and I fell in love with the place. And I was like, wow, this place is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And would you believe that one of my first jobs I got working here was in the Torpedo Art Factory.
Wow. Divine.
Yes. So I was just meant to get back into my art world. It was just calling me. And when you have something like that calling you, you can't fight it. You just push yourself further and further away from the growth that you could possibly have if you just follow through. So that's why I believe, you know, and it's hard to be a self-taught artist, because when you get into the art community, you start going around with friends and people who went to school for art, you know, who know exactly what they're doing by the book. Right. And then you can get discouraged because you don't do things the way they do things. So that's why I think it's important for me that I like to share art with people. I like for people to know, hey, it's okay if you go to the store and buy the cheap paint like I do. It's okay. It's not about what you're using. It's about how you feel when you're expressing.
I was just about to say, look.
Yep, you got your crayon. Yep, you got your markers. What you got? Pencil crayons. What they call them again?
Color pencil. But I love the idea of allowing yourself to be free in terms of, like you said, like not having like an outline or a plan or something like that, and just allowing yourself to freely move through your creativity.
Mm-hmm. It helped me because at first, when I first started back doing art, I couldn't just paint a whole person and be comfortable with what I was looking at, you know?
Right.
So I kept trying to do that, kept trying to imitate somebody else's art or what someone thought my art should look like. I would have been discouraged and left it alone, you know? So just knowing that I could do whatever I want to do, it just helped me. It really did.
And it's like, when do we have the urge, if we are not an artist, to pick up a pen and a paper and start to express ourselves? Like, it's not something that's like in our everyday repertoire if it's not, if it's not necessarily a passion for us. And so what advice do you have for someone who may be stuck in a situation like that?
Be open-minded with yourself. Right now, if you can, I'm sorry, be open-minded with yourself. And right now, if you can, take trips to the art store and just try different things out. Buy a box of popsicle sticks and some glue and sit there and see what you come up with. Buy yourself some canvas, not even a sketchbook, and get you some markers or some paint. Like, be open-minded, and also tap into that inner child. And remember that you used to be in elementary school one day. You did elementary school. You did arts and craft in elementary school. So you do have the ability to express. You're just not used to it because you're so far from it, because we became an adult and want to work and do things that, we think that's the only thing we're allowed to do.
Right.
We have so much more, So yeah, just try something out. Go on Pinterest, look up things on, fun things to do, creative things to do, and just try different things out until you find what works for you. That's what my little brother kept doing. Like the other day, he went and brought a whole bunch of supplies to make a birdhouse. Yeah. Right. It looked okay. I had to be encouraging, but I'm proud of him for just trying until he finds him feel good. And that's what I say. I say just try something out. Even if you just set yourself out sometime once a week, that self-care. I'm sorry. I like this location too with the wind. Yes, just set yourself just one little time you spend during the week where you have some self-care time, and say, okay, well, I'm gonna make this for myself today. I'm gonna paint this for my living room, or just try to do something that you have never done before.
Or like you said, how when you were younger, you used to paint all the time, so it kind of got reactivated in you. So sometimes there are things laying dormant in us, and we don't even know it until we start to explore, right?
I completely agree with that. Because look at that. There's a lot of things for me that I did as a child, because my mother did that. She took me to the art store like it was my toy store. I was one of those weird kids who ate saltine crackers for cookies. So she exposed me to a lot of different things, and down to my love of crystals. I would go to the crystal stores with her in the little shop that she used to take us to, and I was always like attracted to the pink one. The pink one. I didn't know it was a love stone. I called it a love stone. I didn't know it was a rose quartz. But when
you were right.
Right, I was right. Look at that. And I didn't remember that connection I had for a while. I forgot, but something got my attention back to it, and me having my attention to it helped me to remember, okay, this is something that that's a part of me. This is something that makes me feel good. So guess what? It doesn't even have to be painting. A person you got iPhones. You don't have to take selfies. Go outside and take some pictures of some flowers and some landscape. You might enjoy taking pictures. Ricky's into photography now, but she had to try it in order to realize that she liked it.
I think that's the reason that we like, when we talk about healing modalities, we like to make sure that we lay out a lot of different modalities, because everyone has so many different styles. And just hoping that someone will gravitate to at least one.
Yeah.
I also want to explore like the different meanings behind art, because when people think about art, like of course you go straight for painting or whatever, but I feel like art is abstract in itself. What are your thoughts on that in terms of like defining what art could be?
I do agree with you. Art is abstract in itself. I think that there is no full definition to art. I think one word can be used as a description, and it's expression. Any form of expression is art, whether it's moving art where you're dancing, you know, that's a form of art. Spoken word is a form of art, you know, and I think that we forget to look at it like that. There's so many different mediums because there's no one definition to what art is. It's just everything. It's everything that we are. We are art, you know?
Exactly.
We are art.
We are beautiful art at that. So I just, and you know what? That's so weird that you asked that, because when I came here and started back doing my art, right, I never looked at it from any form of a professional view before. It was just something I did for fun that my mom would take me to do. But being here, eventually working into the point where I started getting exhibited, I had to start learning different things because I'm self-taught. And I really didn't understand the different mediums of art. I didn't understand that. When they would be like, what's your medium? I'm like, what you mean I paint?
What is that? Seriously. Can we see your painting when you're talking? Can you move it over just a little bit so we can see your painting when you're talking? Oh, yes. Okay, go ahead.
And
So,
I finished joining. We're doing an abstract painting. If you have markers, if you have crayons, color pencils, you can do it too. Allow yourself to express your art. And this is what I have so far.
ooh, that's not.
So you were like the mediums. You were talking about the mediums.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So it's kind of like material. It's like your choice of how you express. So for example,
Okay.
with paint, you have acrylic, you have oil, you have what else? You have acrylic, you have oil, watercolors, and then moving away from paint, you have all the different types of markers that you use. And then what else? So with photography, you could be probably looking at it like using black and white, or the type of camera you use, whether it's a vintage camera or a digital camera. So that's what the mediums are. It's just the more specific of what you use to create your artwork. So for example, I do a lot of mixed media. I like mixed media. Mixed media is when you just do a whole bunch of different things and put it together. So maybe on your canvas, you have paint, you have oil, you have spray paint. That's a different medium. You know, you have textile, which would be like materials, yarn, things like that. Mixed media is very fun, and it's very freeing. It's very freeing, because who's to say that you're looking at a painting and it only can be 2D? Why not make it 3D?
It makes me like think about healing, right? Different mediums, right?
Definitely.
You can mix them all together. You can do one in silos. You can do 3 together.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, you know, like you said, you just, when you find the one that makes you feel good, that's it right there. That's it right there.
The type of artist that I am, I'm more of a, like, I haven't really gotten to master adding color to my art. So I like to draw. That's one of my creative expressions. If I'm motivated to do so, I like to draw, and I'll share a few things later. But when it comes to adding color, that's when I feel like I mess it all up.
Hi. What rule do you have in your mind for color?
Right.
I mean, it's just, I don't know, like coloring out the lines. You know how growing up, we don't want to color out the lines. And I've always been a great colorer, but I just feel like I'm just really hard on myself when it comes to my own personal artwork.
Yeah.
And when we talk about creative expression, it's no form.
Right.
No form, is no guidelines.
Absolutely.
I also think that speaks to a lot of us, period, being hard on ourselves, even when we're dealing with different mediums, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I do it. You're not by yourself. I do it all the time. It's a part of being human, you know. I think we're always I think that inner feeling, that inner critic is what pushes us to become great at times. But it can also hold us back too. So you got to stop with the rules on the color. Just do whatever you want to do. Your finger said, let's go out the line, and your finger said, let's go out the line.
All right.
So,
Naomi.
People, sorry.
Naomi, you have a twin sister named Tiffany Faison.
Oh, wow.
She looks exactly like I just sent them a picture of her. But one of my former engineering students.
She must be a lovely lady then.
She is, as you are.
Okay.
Do you remember Eric?
I do remember him. Yes, he was at the event that I came to, and he's the one who gave you the event. I remember him. How have you been? How have you been?
Oh, been great. Been great.
That's
Yourself?
good. That's good. Yes, you're an unforgettable person.
So, Queen, I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever been able to use this form, particularly when you were in the midst of a situation? I look at these as more preventative measures, or reactive measures, but I never thought about using them in the moment. Have you ever been able to like be in a situation and have to go paint immediately because of what what you're feeling?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Now I'm gonna say I think that with my healing, I've gotten to a point where I don't have to just break out and go and do it, but I usually feel it working its way up to me needing to sit down and paint. But for the most part, there was a time where I lived with my mom when I first came here, and that made the situation harder for me with my depression. And she would just start, and I'd walk off and go grab my paint things and go down the street to the park and paint, because it was my way of screaming. That's what it was. It was my way of screaming. It was my way of speaking up in a situation that I felt like I couldn't speak up in. And then what I also do now is, instead of me rolling through that dark moment of depression, I'll start to paint. So for example, Mother's Day came. I usually don't do too well for Mother's Day. But there's something that I want, which is more children. So I said, okay. When I first grabbed the canvas and put everything down, I didn't even realize that's what I was about to do. But it was my spirit telling me, okay, you need to express. You need to get this out now. It's time to sit down and talk about it with my paintbrush. So I did that painting of the pregnant woman holding her belly. And for me, that was my way of working out my issue. Wow. I have. And it helped me to not have a bad Mother's Day. It helped me to enjoy my Mother's Day because I was so excited about the expression in the painting that I couldn't remember what made me so sad about Mother's Day.
And do you think that was intentional or more divine?
It was definitely divine. And to me, I think it's a mixture of both. I think that it was divine that it made me paint, but it was intentional that I had to paint in order for me to create what I needed to create, to prevent me from feeling what I needed to feel. So it all happened in divine timing.
That's right. Thank you for sharing that. So I will be honest here and tell you that I know you know this, but everyone else may not know. I am not the artistic type. I would have never claimed to be in terms of physical imagery. I'll say that. Okay. In other ways, I am artistic, but this way in particular, I've shied away from because of what I would say. It's a mess. I don't know. What do you want me to say? It's a mess. So, but it's my mess, and I embrace this mess, and I love this mess, and I like it.
Hey, and who else? Any other thoughts matter? It is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you, even though you feel like you don't have that artistic bone, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
You do, because it just doesn't come out the way you think it's
doing
supposed
it.
to. Right. It's coming out how it's supposed to come out. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's on the, can we see what you did so far?
Sure, if you can. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's very light.
Yeah. Oh, it is light. What are you doing?
I don't know. What are you doing? I don't know. But it feels good. It feels good.
And it looks interesting. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. It feels good.
All right. So thank you so much, Queen. We would like for you to continue to stay with us while you are engaged in your creative expression. We're gonna move on to our next expert, but I want you to stick around, and please, if you can you type your information in the chat so people can be able to reach out to you And can you tell them
Yes,
really quickly
tell them
about
23 brushes.
Okay, yes. So 23 Brushes, it's normally a mobile paint and sip company, but we're doing a lot of things virtually right now. So in support of social distancing, we do a free paint night on Saturdays at 5 p.m. It's free. You just log on to 23 Brushes Instagram live at 5 p.m. and I do and we paint. I post a flyer on what we're going to paint. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I remember the last day, but we still paint for free together.
And we have a really good time, guys.
No, it's an awesome experience.
Like, I look forward to Saturdays so that I can paint, because sometimes I don't feel motivated, and you really motivate me to show up and paint. So thank you for allowing me to tap into my creative energy.
You're an inspiration through your creative expression. So keep creatively expressing yourself, and we will continue to be inspired.
I'm grateful. I will
Thank
do my
you so much, Queen.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Right. Guys, if you have any questions or comments for Queen, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. I think she's going to stick around with us for a little second. All right. So that was art, right? The next modality that we're going to get into is writing. Okay? From poetry, journaling, letters, storytelling, writing can release feelings even if no one ever reads it. Something short and sweet. But this next guest is a brother of ours, and he's going to share some of his journey, his story, and what motivates him to creatively express himself and how he does it. Brother Akeem, are you there?
Peace. What up, though?
And it's so dope. We met
What up,
Akeem in Rhode Island. So everyone that's been following along, all of our experts are people that we have met personally in our travels and has inspired us. So we are so grateful to be able to share them with you all.
Yo, y'all
Come through, Akeem.
Brother.
Y'all inspire me, man. Don't sit there and tell those people lies, bro. The first day I met y'all, I already knew, man. Look, y'all was talking about divine, right? Action, and how it was a moment for the sis who was right before me to talk about how divine it was for her to be able to paint, and it was a divine moment for us to have met when we met, to have been connected how we were connected, right? And for us to still be connected. Come on, man. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. But yo, y'all are currently in my home state, huh? Is Jersey? Y'all still in Jersey?
Hold on.
They're in the
Can
DC area right now,
Where?
in the Maryland,
There you
DC
go.
area.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I read on the meeting thing that they were in Jersey. So for a second I was hyped, but you know, Maryland, DC also deserves love. So what's up, y'all? So I mean, like, y'all want me to jump into a piece, or y'all got some
I want you to
questions
tell
for
us
me?
a little bit about your journey and why you even do. How did you even? What is a piece? How did you even get there?
Let's talk about it. So again, my name is Akeem Lloyd, and I grew up in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I was raised by my grandparents. My mom wasn't there, my father wasn't there, but I do not hold that against them. I believe that my grandparents tried to give me everything that they had, everything that they could, but there was something that was missing. And I didn't realize what was missing until I got to college. When I got to college, I started to understand that the lack of social emotional support that I did not receive growing up played a tremendous role on how I viewed the world and how I interacted with the people that were in it, and emotionally how it kept me from being able to express myself, how it stopped me from being able to connect with people, and mentally how it really like it really impacted my morale and how I viewed myself. And so when I came into like understanding that this is what was happening, right? That I did not receive the kind of social and emotional support that a young person needs and deserves. Uh, I I started to do the work, right? I didn't know how to do the work. I was never taught how to do the work, but I knew that something needed to change,
That's right.
and so I started writing, and I started writing more and more and more, and the writing became my healing. The writing became the work, uh, and it allowed me to dive deep into spaces and places that I had never gone before in regards to internal self-hate, you know, internal interactions that I was having with myself, the traumatic experiences of drugs and suicidal actions. And so physical physical abuse, right? Verbal abuse, things that really were like images that I can script out from like start to finish.
Right.
And so writing allowed me to really dive deep into where did I learn what I learned?
Yeah.
How did I learn it? And then how did that impact on how I interact with the world? And I got to meet, well, before I got to meet these individuals, I became aware of them. And they were a youth poetry team in Philadelphia. And the person that was running that team was a black man. And I would listen to how he spoke about poetry and how he spoke about writing and self love. And I just, like I couldn't help but to notice that out of all my years of living, now mind you, at this time I'm 18, 19 years old, so it wasn't a whole lot of living, but it was enough, right? It was enough for me to have experienced the traumatic experiences I did. But within my years of living, I had never heard a black man talk about self-love the way he talked about self-love,
Wow.
right? And so um, hearing him talk about self-love and how poetry becomes his way of healing, and how poetry is a form of healing, especially for youth. That when like it allowed me to connect what I was doing to a bigger picture. I wasn't just writing now just to write poetries of the stories of what I was experiencing. I was writing to actually like understand why I was experiencing the things that I experienced, and why I was like navigating the world in which I was navigating it. So
You were able to put
that's
intention. You were able to put intention on what you were
yeah,
already doing.
yeah,
Wow.
definitely. And I mean, I wrote my first poem in 8th grade as a class assignment.
Oh.
That was a selection to choose a poem or to write a story. And so at the time, Mother's Day was approaching. I didn't have any money to purchase my grandmother anything. So I thought, why not, write this poem, knock out this class assignment, but also be able to give my grandmother something for Mother's Day. So that was the very first poem that I ever wrote. And it was an on and off relationship between me and poetry, but it's definitely something that I still utilize today.
Sorry, excuse us.
Yeah, yeah.
Whew. That spoke to me in so many different ways. Every time your story is like, it's like every time I see a black man, I feel like I see parts of your story, right?
Mm.
And so I don't, I don't know, like your I don't know what it is, but it's something about that story that even impacts me. And I always try to like, I do gender roles, right? So I'm like, men can really benefit from this. I think like that, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, everybody can benefit from it. Like aside from gender roles, like there's so many parts that resonate with myself, in
Mm.
terms of just living through life and not even being able to identify how you feeling or what your emotions are, and thinking that that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And myself included, we share similar stories because growing up, I didn't feel like I had that connection in my family to where when I grew up, I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know what I like. I didn't know how to speak my truth and things of that nature. And to be honest, I'm better writing. Like when I get to
Mm-hmm.
writing my feelings and things, it comes out more expressive, more understanding. I understand it more when I write it versus me sitting here talking to you right now and I'm like, I'm feeling this. But writing just allows you to just get caught in the flow
Mm.
of whatever you're feeling, and you got your eraser, you can erase it. You know, sometimes we speak and we're speaking so quickly we don't even know. Sometimes we may not have said everything, but when you're writing, it's like, okay, I can plug this in here. I
Fit
can
it
plug
all
this
in.
in here.
Right.
And
Right.
knowing that it doesn't have to rhyme. In high school, I remember in English was my strong subject, but when it came down to writing poetry, I was not good at it because I felt like it had to rhyme, it had to flow, it had to do all of these things. But now when I write, it just flow whatever I'm feeling. But I'm challenging myself now to write when I'm happy, because I find myself
Mm.
only writing when I'm going through like something mental health related and I like have to get these feelings on paper. But I want to be able to write because I'm like, I don't want to be the girl with all the dark poetry. You know, I want to have things that um, can bring light and peace because I embody all of those things. So I'm gonna navigate there.
Nah, for sure. I think it's extremely important, right, to understand that words have power, right? And and it's as important as it is for us to speak words into existence. It's just as important for us to put those words down. And and those words, for a lot of our healing, for a lot of our trauma, has to be written for us to even be able to identify and acknowledge the trauma itself, right?
Right.
Because a lot of people struggle with speaking about the trauma that they actually experienced, which is okay. That happens. But I'll share um, I'll share a tool that I utilize and that we utilize with youth, that if anybody on this call would appreciate and utilizing themselves or being able to share with others, whether it be young men, or just young people, uh, what what started to happen was I started to move from internal to external, right? And so I, instead of processing everything internally, which a lot of us do, a lot of black people, people of color, love to keep everything inside them, right? Like we love to just sit with our emotions and our anger and our frustration, which ends up playing a role in how a lot of young people interact with the world, right? Because everything's internal. And so encouraging people to move from internal to external, and writing is one of those outlets that we use for actually doing that. Like sis, who's up here painting, right? She said that it was a way for her to scream, right? Even though she's painting, it was a way for her to scream. So she was moving from internal to external, but using these beautiful colors to paint what she was feeling, right? That's beautiful. That's a form of internal to external. So for me, right, for me, um, what I recommend or what I suggest as a resource or a tool is, and I'm going to ask everybody to just participate and just rock with me on this, right? And so it's simple, it's easy, but I call it PEMS, PEMS, acronym, PEMS. P is for physical, E is for emotional, M is for mental, S is for spiritual. And thank you for that. And so what I'm gonna ask everybody to do is I'm gonna ask everybody to write their P, right? write their P on anything that you can write it with. And then I want you to rate that P, right? 4 being really great, right? 4 being really great, or 1 being really low. And you can rate it any number between 1 to 4, right? 1 being low, 4 being really great. I'm gonna give y'all a couple seconds to do that, and then we're gonna move on to the E. Again, P is physical, right? So the question that you are asking yourself is, how do I feel physically right now, right? How do I feel physically right now? And then after you rate that P, a number 1, 2, 3, or 4, if you want to go halves, you can, that's totally fine, right? Then I'm going to ask you to write a line or two sharing or describing why you feel the way that you rated your P. And this is just for you, right? I want you to write 1 or 2 lines why you feel the way you rated your P. So if you rated your P a 2, which is on the lower end, then I want you to actually use a line or two to describe why you rated it a 2. And this is where a lot of the internal goes external, because we have to be honest with ourselves. We can't lie about why we feel the way we feel physically. And if we do, we stop ourselves from doing the work. And so this allows us to be honest, right? This is something that we can do on our own. It doesn't have to be in a group, right? We don't have to share it with anybody. It's literally a self-check-in, right? A self-check-in. Because self-awareness, right? Self-awareness is extremely important when discussing mental and emotional health and wellness. Because the more that we can speak to how we feel, the better we can assess what needs to be done or what we can do to address our own needs. And so now that everybody has that P, I'm gonna ask everybody to write their letter E. And I want you to rate your letter E, 1 to 4. Again, if you wanna do halves, like 3.5, 2.5, you can. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to write a line or two describing how you feel emotionally right now. How do you feel emotionally right now? And then after you do that, we're gonna do the same thing with M, right? M. Now, sometimes your M is connected to your E, because the way you feel mentally is in alignment most times with how you feel emotionally. But I still want you to still rate how you feel in your mentally right now, and then want you to write a line or two describing why you feel the way you rate it. And then that last piece is S, which is spiritual, right? How's your spirit today? How's your spirit right now? But look, right? I don't want you to rate. You're not going to rate the S. You're not going to put a number with how you feel spiritually. You're just going to write how you feel spiritually. Okay? Do not put a number next to the spiritual part of this self-check-in. And then you're just going to take a line or two. You're going to take a line or two and write why you feel the way you feel spiritually, right? Like, how does your spirit feel today, right now? And again, this is us doing a self-check-in, because the benefit is, again, we go from internal to external, which allows us to process these thoughts out loud, right? It allows us to process these thoughts out loud in a visual space, right? And the reason why we do it like this is one, you rate it, and then after you rate it, you name it, right? That's so the rating piece is the 1 to 4. The name it piece is when you actually write out why you feel the way you feel. Right? No more going through days when people ask you, how are you doing? And the only answer we give them is, I'm good. Right? This allows us to be able to speak our truth, right? And say, this is how I'm feeling. And it gives you power to say whether or not you wish to actually go more into it, right? You don't have to go more into it, but at least you can acknowledge and identify how you really feel without actually, you know what I mean? Actually saying, I'm good, and then that's it. So that activity we do with our young men and our young women and our youth in general. And that's an activity that all of us can do even as adults on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. That's a beautiful way to picture it in writing, because we talk about self check-ins and checking in with ourselves, and we speak to the version that you don't always have to have a pen to write down these feelings, but to look at it from a physical, emotional, spiritual, all these different entities of ourselves, then we can really be more in tune and self-aware. So I appreciate this tool.
Absolutely, man.
Quick question for you. How would you
Yes.
explain to a kid the difference between emotional and spiritual? How would you
Say
explain
that one.
to a kid? How would you explain the difference between emotional and spiritual to a kid?
For sure. And so how we actually go about it is saying your emotional, right, feeling mad, angry, happy, right, like, and then asking them to align that emotional with an actual like present thing that happened. And so, for example, if one of our youth say, man, like, I'm like pissed that I wasn't able to, go to football practice because I didn't turn my homework in, right? Then, oh, I'm sorry, take a step back. If they say to us, I'm pissed because I wasn't able to go to football practice, then we get them to name exactly what took place for them to be mad. And then they would say, oh, because I didn't turn my homework in, right? When it comes to the spiritual piece, we're saying to them, like, what, what, which, which of these feelings, right? Which of these feelings moves you not just emotional, but like your, hello?
Yes, we hear.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
We hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry, my phone is dying. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, Eric.
Take your time, baby.
All right, we got to set it up like this real quick. Oh. All right, cool. So again, for that emotional piece, we get them to, for that emotional piece, we get them to attach an actual like current present thing that actually took place that made them feel the way they feel emotionally. For that spiritual piece, it's not so much about a like a religious practice or anything of that nature, because we have youth who don't practice the same religious practices, but it's more so like my spiritual feeling right now is I'm feeling extremely grateful, and I'm feeling grateful, or I'm sitting in gratitude because so and so allowed me to, right, like, be a part of this panel. And so spiritually, I am moved because I was called to something that was larger than myself. And so when we ask them how you're feeling spiritually, it ties to what's attached to something larger than yourself.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for breaking
Brother
that
Akeem,
down.
yes. These gems, man. Dropping these gems, man. I'm ready for this piece now.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, thank y'all again, man. I'm truly grateful again, just to truly be a part of this. And I'm gonna drop the email in the chat box for anybody who may have any questions or would like for me to share any other resources that we also use or utilize. I just put my email, akeemspeaks2 at gmail.com into the email box. So let's see. What poem we gonna do? Sean, should I do something that's personal about my life or do something about the work I do?
Do whatever you feel, whatever your spirit is calling
What
you
does
to.
the spirit say?
Yes,
My
whatever
spirit.
your spirit is saying.
What about
Okay,
the spirit?
okay.
I want to hear the spirit.
You want, okay. Let's see. Thursday, March 14th, I sat in a classroom filled with scientists, artists, entrepreneurs, congressmen, and women. I sat in a classroom filled with 33 paintbrushes, ready to paint this world with ambitious colors, their canvas. Their canvas is as big as their thoughts, and I am simply here to help them choose their colors. They will never be Picasso, but they can be better. And every day I strive to bring out the best artists in them, the best in them. They have yet to see what their paint can do. It's only a matter of time before their best will come, and I pity the fool who chooses to disagree. Our youth, our intellectual time bomb was waiting to explode. I said, our youth, our intellectual time bomb was waiting to explode. And I pray that I'm there, but their confidence goes boom, kaboom, bam. And they start to break down every stereotype that has ever labeled them as felons, criminals, and convicts. And they start to break down every barrier that has ever gotten them killed. Trayvon, Tamir, Brianna. And they start to break down every barrier that has ever gotten them beaten, Sandra. They start to break down every barrier that has ever gotten them locked behind bars. My students will paint themselves into history, never forgetting their history. And they will use pastel colors because it looks better in the sun, yeah. Brighter in the sun, their lives will reflect the hard work of Martin Luther King, their passion will bounce off walls and into their communities like Malcolm. Their determination will look a little more like Harriet. No, we can change this world one paint stroke at a time. I serve because Frederick Douglass once said, once you learn how to read, you will forever be free. And that it's easier to build small children than it is to repair broken men. My students will learn not to bend. No, our youth will learn not to bend. I serve because they have built more prisons. I serve because they are building more prisons. And I refuse to watch as it grows when I know that we can be a part of its downfall. And no, I'm not asking for no sympathy. I'm asking that we care more because for some inside, a high is all that they care for. You'd be surprised by the number of artists you meet every day. I serve youth who, like me, found it hard to believe in themselves. I serve youth who find it hard to be themselves. I serve young people who find it hard just to see themselves. But we are blueprints for positivity. I'm a believer in the power of our youth, the bridge our children can believe is stable. I am the voice that reminds them how great they are, and we can be the voices that remind our youth how great they are. I am merely a paintbrush, ready to paint this world with ambitious colors. I am the journal they can write and the shoulder they can lean on. I am just a mentor who cares. I serve with a purpose, for a purpose, to instill self-love and self-worth in our kids. So when you ask me why I serve, and I simply respond because I have to. Please do not feel offended by my short answer. But sometimes it's hard to relay these words that mean so much to my identity. I identify with students whose parents have been addicted to drugs. I serve youth whose parents have been deported or too busy to care. I serve because someone told me I matter. And I tell them they matter. And we can tell them they matter. And that greatness is a mindset. Thursday, March 14th, I sat in a classroom filled with scientists, artists, entrepreneurs, congressmen, and women. I sat in a classroom filled with 33 eighth graders, ready to paint this world with ambitious colors. They may never be Picasso, but they can be better. And every day I will strive to bring out the best in them. I serve because someone told me I matter. If you don't serve, who would tell them?
Drop.
Love
Picasso.
and light, man. Love and light, yo. Love and light, man. I love y'all.
I
And
love
thank you.
you, brother.
Beautiful job, brother.
Wow.
That was so powerful, inspirational,
so fitting.
so fitting, reminding me of my purpose, all of us of our purpose in this world. Wow, that is amazing.
Thank you, brother.
Did you talk about the leadership journey?
Nope.
No. I wasn't sure if there's gonna be enough time, but I'll do my best to quickly speak on it. But before I do that, yo, I just want to thank y'all. Like y'all organized, you know what I'm saying, 12 weeks of like straight love, straight healing, straight conversation, straight discussion, and that needs to be acknowledged and uplifted. So I want to acknowledge y'all, man, for like doing what you do for real, and can't wait till y'all get a little closer so I can come visit y'all again, man, for real. And I want to thank everybody who joined these sessions and participated, whether it's been sharing your truth or asking and answering questions. I thank y'all for being a part of this too, man. And I'm grateful that you asked me to be a part of it. So I'll quickly share. A Leadership Journey is a youth travel and leadership nonprofit organization that I started 4 years ago for youth of color, Black youth ages 13 to 18, to have the opportunity to participate in a cultural education exploration program that would allow us to discuss and address mental and emotional wellness. And so this program is set up in two components where youth who participate go throughout their leadership journey, participating in workshops that are youth led as well as led by professionals, and then youth who participate in the cultural exploration and educational program get the opportunity to travel, and they get the opportunity to travel for free. And when they do travel, they participate in youth forums. They get a chance to discuss mental health access, food insecurity, food access, as well as other topics related to social justice and inequality. And they get to learn from their peers exactly about their experiences as it pertains to those topics as well. And when we come back to the US, those youth who participate in a leadership journey get the opportunity to then share their capstone based on what they learned throughout their time with us. And so it's this powerful educational experience where young people learn about systematic racism and how to dismantle these systems, how to be engaged, and how to be a global citizen. And then also a powerful program for young people to start prioritizing their mental and emotional wellness. We've gone to South Africa twice, and we've taken our third cohort to Kenya last year. We were supposed to be in Ghana earlier this month, but we hope that, you know, COVID slows down so that next year we can travel again.
So dope, bro.
Such a
So
beautiful
dope.
reflection. Such a beautiful reflection. I love you. I absolutely love you, Akeem. I don't know if you know that, but
He
I
knows
do.
you love him. Look, brother. Thanks for the inspiration.
For sure, for sure. I love y'all. I'm gonna stay on for as long as I can.
Okay.
There's another call that started at 3 o'clock, but I already told them I'm gonna be a couple minutes late, so I'm gonna be here to support whoever's next.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Woo.
My goodness gracious.
This is awesome.
I want y'all to hold this thought. We actually have another expert in writing on here, okay? And we want her to share some of her work. But we're gonna move on to our next one, and we're gonna come back to so keep writing in mind, okay? Because we got a special guest. So you guys get ready for that. Creative expression mode number 3 is movement. Physical activity has been known to bring clarity to the brain and is great for physical health. I know some of you guys have been behind this computer for the last 3 months. Okay, because we have. And I don't know if we get as many opportunities to move as we would like to. And so for that reason, we have the wonderful, the amazing, amazingly talented
Multifaceted Mila.
Mila, are you there?
Hey, keep going. I liked it.
Say more about me.
Yeah, please. It's so nice. Hi, friends. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm still in the car because my pee is low. I was trying to get an immune builder shake because somebody was not thinking about the time difference. So
yes.
I'm thinking I'm just now about to.
No, Mila, it's fair. It's fine.
So,
listen, Mila, we're gonna.
If you need a minute, we can go back to writing, and we can share. And then
no, I actually had a writing activity. Y'all know. Come on. Come on. Y'all know I had something to have them write as well. So hello, friends. My name is Mila. I have been a special needs nanny and group fitness instructor for over 10 years. And so now I'm working to take my brand. Well, I'm working to build a wealth with all of my for-profit businesses because I'm also a CPR first aid instructor and I make my own wellness and beauty products, all natural. And I'm trying to build a wealth with those things so that I can offer free child care, behavior, development, and educational enrichment services to special needs and at-risk children. So I'm working really hard on that. And this is what brought me so close to my friends, my sisters. So I want to start with asking you a question. And you can go back and look into it later on, but how many of you know what the adverse childhood experiences studies are? Show of hands? Nobody. Wow. Yay! Okay. So, you guys, of course. So the adverse childhood experiences study is a study that was done in the early 1990s by CDC and Kaiser Permanente. What they did was they pooled a group of like 17,000 people and did studies with them. And what they came to find was that there were 10 very significant things that can happen to you before the age of 18 that will physiologically and chemically change you. So it'll change the way you develop, the way that you perceive the world, the way that your body functions, physically even. And these are things along the lines of physical, mental, emotional abuse, physical, mental, emotional neglect, being raised in a home with an addictive parent or a child of an addict, being abused by a parent, watching a parent be abused, you name it. This list does not include functioning in a world with disabilities of any kind, whether it be the parent with disabilities or the child. And it also does not include loss of a parent, which is significant to me. Because on the list, you go through, it's a quiz, and you kind of tally it up and you go, okay, one for this, one for this, one for this. And it's believed that if you have experienced one of these things, you're more likely to be, an edgy person or irritable or have, some kind of depression or something. 2, those things are heightened. So you're more likely to be like an unkind person or a actually depressed person. 3 or more, you're more likely to engage in like risky behavior, like drugs and alcohol, right? 4 or more, you're more likely to engage in criminal behavior. And then at more than 4, it's believed that you are 6 to 12 times more likely to commit suicide. I'm a 9. And that does not include loss of a parent. My dad was murdered when I was 16. And I'm working really hard to make sure that children don't grow up fighting to love themselves the way that I do, the way that my siblings do, and the way that most of us do, because it is in our power to change things. And so in talking about creative expression, I would ask that you rip off a piece of your paper, because I don't want this to be attached to any notes that you're going to keep or cherish or look back on. So take a piece of paper off of whatever you've been writing on, and I want you to write down 3 things that you don't like about yourself. Today. 3 things you're struggling with today, specifically. Sean and Drika, because I know y'all are like, I have to do this, so. Today. Everybody done? Let me know when you're done. Give me a thumbs up. And don't sit there and act like because you're a mentor or because you're where you're at today that you can't think of 3 things, because I get that a lot, and honey, it's a lie. I know you can. Okay, once you've written down those 3 things, give me a thumbs up, please. Okay, cool. Now I want you to rip it up and toss it to the side, because we're gonna let go of those things right now. We're done with it. We're not gonna take those things with us. We're gonna stop stressing about those things, at least for today or for the next 30 minutes. Now I want you to write down 3 things that you love about yourself. Take your time with this one. And once you're done writing 3 things that you love about yourself, I want you to give me another thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Very cool. All right, cool. Keep that one. Cherish it.
Trained us for
and
this,
think more
Mila.
about those things.
This is our trainer.
We've embodied this concept from Mila. We call it destroying negative thoughts, and she was the first individual who asked us these questions, and I kind of got stuck. I didn't know what I loved about myself. I didn't know that the programming that I had in my mind, the stories that I've been telling myself, I hadn't gotten rid of it to create a new story. So I want to thank Mila for bringing this to my awareness and allowing us to be able to share with other people, because it's something that we don't really think about, things that we love about ourselves. We're just so very hard on ourselves at times to where we don't even realize the things that we love, and knowing that the things that we don't love, we have the ability to change them.
Yeah, I mean, we all struggle with these things. And it's funny because I do this all the time. And every time that I do this activity, I have that one person that's like, I don't want to write down anything that I don't like about myself. I love myself. I don't even want to go there anymore. Like, come on. We all have our representative. We all have our mask. We all have that thing or that way that we show up for something, right? We go, hi, I'm Mila, la, la, la. I'm so great. I'm a fitness instructor. I'm so happy and I love myself and blah, blah, blah. I'm a mentor and a leader and everything's perfect. Well, it's crazy that this fell on today because I am having one of the toughest weeks of my life because I'm trying to finally peel back my representative and actually be myself and actually relate to people that look up to me. I have this whole following that admires me. They want to be like me. They want to do things I do and say things I say and smile the way I do even. And what they don't know is I'm struggling harder than most people because I literally believe in my heart of hearts that if I stay too long in anything, I'll mess it up. Mm. And so it's really cool to be doing this today because I'm like, the teacher is the student. And so now that we're thinking about things that we like about ourselves, and we've already decided that we're going to put physical effort into making the choice to love ourselves, making the choice to get out of bed when you don't want to, making the choice to keep pushing, making the choice to even just do normal day-to-day things. You know, we've already decided that, and now we're thinking about things that we like about ourselves. So feel free to, you know, stand up if you want to, so we can stretch some of these things off. Willie, can you come inside?
Hey guys, can you drop your location in the chat for me? If you haven't already, please drop your location in the chat wherever you're tuning in from.
Yeah, very cool. Willie, come on, bud. I'm dog sitting a like 70-year-old dog. He's 14, but he's like senile. Okay, so yesterday I was talking to some friends, and when we met up, it was kind of crazy timing because we weren't supposed to be in the same place. We just kind of ended up at the same place. And we're like, oh, hey, how are you? How you been? Blah, blah, blah. And upon just trying to catch up, we realized that like the natural flow of things, that like harvest and planting and growing and then weeding away and then all of that is like a thing that each and every one of us goes through in our lives. And it's weird to me that humans disconnect ourselves from nature so much, especially with all the technology nowadays, because we are natural things. And we are a part of this cycle as much as anything else. And so I just want you to know that whatever you're experiencing, you're not alone. Because me, today, I'm dealing with it.
You got
and our bodies react physically to our emotions, right? And so when you're sad and you're not feeling good, I want you to be sad, right, with your body. Be sad with your body. So we hang our heads, our shoulders are drooped, our gaze is down. When you're feeling this way, you literally have the physical option to lift your head and roll your shoulders back and down and open your heart and chest. People think that I thought that if you stick your chest out, you know, you're sticking your chest out. You're like, nah, I got my chest out. I'm tough, right? And so in order to people please for a lot of my life in the beginning, I walked around kind of slumped with my like chest in. And it wasn't until I started doing yoga and they told me to open my heart that I started to pull my chest through my shoulders and allow myself to just be whatever that is, whoever I am, every single day, and teach that to children. And so I wanted to tell you guys the first thing that I do when I teach a yoga class, specifically with kids, is I make them shake off their cool. And so even though this is just virtual and we're just, you know, on this video call, whatever you showed up with is ideas and thoughts about what everyone was going to think about you and whether or not you were going to be received or whether or not it was going to be, you know, good information or
you know, we have all these ideas before we go into something. And then once we're there, we like walk in, we got our representative on, we're wearing our mask, and we're like, hello, I'm, you know, so-and-so, and you can't hurt me because I'm perfect and invincible, right? But if you're going to actually engage in this journey, if you're going to actually creatively express how you feel, or just express it at all, even if it's not creatively, you got to take all of that off. And you got to be willing to actually be whoever you are. And so I invite them, let me make sure you can see my whole body. I invite my kids to shake off their cool. And so you literally just, however you get it off of your shoulders, like this is what I make children do. And the cooler you look, or the cuter it is, the least, that means that you're not really getting it off of you. And so, can I just invite you to like shake it off? I definitely have to today. And so, if you are carrying around something on your shoulders that is weighing it down so much that you slump, just shake it off. And now stand as still as you can. Do you feel that? That tingling sensation? That high, that release, your heart's pumping, and you can feel your body for a change. You're in it. Just by doing something crazy and silly, like shaking it off. Now you feel you, really actually. And that's what it takes to start this journey, is just taking off your cool, not being afraid to look however, not being afraid to be a hot mess in front of people, and just allowing yourself to be wherever you are. And on the other side of it, on the other side of the hot mess, there's this like, whew, and you feel things. And whatever you feel is okay, because you shook off your cool, right? Good. That's really all I had planned. I just wanted to make you guys shake off your cool. But I want to, oh, thank you, Akeem. I want to, invite each and every one of you to find a way to release creatively, like Niomi here. And you gotta find something that that fills you up, because so often we reach out to other people, or we reach out to we just outsource, period. We outsource to make ourselves feel good. But if you do things like this that like put you in your body and like really make you feel, then you kind of have no option but to be your whole self. Because once you're actually in your body and doing things without worrying about what other people think about you, then you're already creatively expressing yourself, because you're giving yourself a chance to just be whatever that is, and you will create as you are just being natural. So, let me get my music going, and then we'll do some dancing here. Oh, hey, Sean and Drika.
What did she say? Did you say something, Mila?
Hello?
Okay. Anyway, how about that? Movement. We don't really think about the importance of movement.
Hey, did you guys want me to lead you guys in like a dance thing, or you want me to dance for you? I wasn't sure.
Whatever you feel.
It's in your heart.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were doing, but if it's up to you.
It's in your heart. What are you feeling like? Because this is our safe space and our safe circle. So although we came here with an intention, we are divine. And so whatever happens in this moment is supposed to happen. So what do you need? What can we do? Let's do whatever we can do.
Honestly, I don't feel like leading today.
That's fair.
I just want to
give you guys my energy and let you know that, like, even in my darkest days, like, it's okay. And all you have to do is get up and move.
For being honest. Thank you for your transparency. Yeah. And you're still giving us whatever you can give us, and we're here, and we're appreciative, and we're grateful.
Okay.
And we love you.
That's what I have to give. That's all I have, because I believe in it and I mean it. And like, today sucks. I feel really bad. And so if I can just let go on you guys really quick.
You're fine.
This was perfect. I think the movement really cracked the code on a lot of things, because I was about to add to say that when we don't express, like when we have emotions that we don't express, it creates blockages in our bodies, to where we're not in the flow. We're not thinking about dis-ease. That's where diseases come from, because we're not expressing. So we have all these blockages in our body, to where, you know, it's unknowingly, we don't even know that we're blocked in these areas. That's why we have stiffness sometimes, or when speaking to women who have experienced trauma, we carry a lot of that in our womb, because our stomach is our second brain. When you talk about intuition, when you talk about that gut feeling, all of that coincides. So you pretty much did all in one. You just all in one us, and we are grateful, and very appreciative of that. Even like getting silly.
Mila, we've been behind this screen, and just for us personally, for every Wednesday for the last 9 weeks, like in front of this screen, information. So physical movement was something that we have lacked for the last 9 weeks. This is our first time ever getting up and moving. Like,
yeah.
So while you're thinking you didn't bring much, you brought everything, right? So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
You even brought us outside. I was like, we're going outside today because we're gonna be moving.
We've been in the RV every week. We've been in the RV doing these workshops. It's the first time we've ever been outside.
We have such a blend here, and we're all in such different spaces in our day that I think everyone heard me, and I think that shaking it off was
perfect.
It was perfect.
So I want to use space to practice what I preach and dance for you guys, if that's okay.
Look at Eric. She's gonna creatively express herself. This is exciting. This is her creative expression.
Yes,
this is so perfect. This is exactly what she embodies.
And she's so strong. Oh my God.
Video.
Mila.
We can't see you, Mila.
Oh no.
There we go.
Hello?
Okay. Want to see everything.
I've been running for 9 years. And I'm only realizing now I was running from myself. From all the negative things that I allow people to make me believe, even though I worked so hard to be a good person, so I can prove to myself and to them that it's not true. And I'm only now realizing that I can't lead people or tell them how to love by strong. And you deserve to do this for yourself too.
Yes, be free.
If you feel inclined. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Now that's creative expression in the movement.
So beautiful. So
Yes.
beautiful.
I hope that was good for you too. How did that feel?
I feel vulnerable.
What'd you say?
Say it. What'd you say?
Huh?
You said you feel what?
Vulnerable.
That's beautiful. Vulnerability is beautiful. We've been programmed to think that being vulnerable and expressing ourselves makes us look weak, but it doesn't. It shows us how powerful we are, how expressive we can be, because a lot of people cannot express themselves. So being vulnerable is nothing wrong with that, Mila.
And I say,
Lady.
in order to feel something different, we gotta do something different. And you just did something different in terms of you being vulnerable in front of, you know what I mean? Like, and this is a safe space.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you felt comfortable to do that here.
Well, you guys are so empowering. You guys create spaces for people to like really be. And what I learned recently in all of this like ugliness that I'm finding in my heart that I just want to let go of, is that is what moves people. Seeing the reality, like that's how we connect, that's how we relate to one another, by like what we've been through. And so the longer that I try to be perfect and just try to be this like role model, influencer, people look at me. But if I want to really make a difference, if I want to really empower people to change the way that they treat children, I got to change the way I treat myself. And I'm okay with opening up so that others can see it.
Yes.
Because I want others to feel safe to just be whoever you are every single day. And on the days, especially on the days when you don't feel like it, you've got to choose you. And sometimes it'll be a physical thing that you have to do. Sometimes you will have to physically peel yourself out of however you are feeling and choose to physically use your body to show yourself some love, to get that high, to shake it off, and to relate to others. I wanted to cancel this morning.
I felt it. I felt it. But what I appreciate, on a level where you may feel like that you're doing this because you didn't want to let us down, I think I appreciate the fact that ultimately you were still doing this for you, even if you don't see that. The one thing that you're telling us to do, to pull ourselves up and do it, that's what you just did.
Yeah.
So you are walking proof of everything that you're saying. That's what I appreciate about you. You didn't do that. You didn't do it for us. You did it for you. So you are showing yourself love.
Yeah.
Don't be
That's what I
so hard
wanted
on
to
yourself,
want.
Mila.
You got people out there who love you. We love you.
Eric, I love you too.
It's really beautiful. I really like the dance. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so nice to meet you all. I hope that you can carry whatever energy I have just given you and whatever 3 things you wrote down about yourself that you love. I hope that you'll consider those things on the really hard days and let those things motivate you and keep you going to creatively express. So.
Can you drop some information where they can find you?
Oh, sure. So
put it in the chat.
You can find me. Okay, I'll put all the things in the chat.
We love you
Thank
so
you
much,
so
Mila.
much,
Thank you
Mila.
for your energy.
Yeah.
We're so grateful for
I
you.
love you guys.
When
Thank
we
you
call,
so much.
we'll call you after this, okay?
Okay. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Peace.
Bye-bye.
This day is far more powerful than we even imagine. Wow. Happens to us all the time. Wow. That was amazing.
The ability to move
That was amazing.
emotion, allow our emotions to move us in a positive way. Sometimes we allow our emotions to lead us to doing things that we may soon or later regret. So being able to find ways to move and express ourselves healthy where we're not hurting ourselves or others is very important. That was so beautiful.
Yes.
We love Mila.
Hey B, are you still there? B? Bianca?
She's like, I did not sign up for that.
Hi, Bianca. We want to talk to you for a second.
She said, one second.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. She's busy.
What's up, big guy?
Hi, how are you?
No, we have an author here, and we wanted to know, Bianca, if you wanted to share a piece with us while if we went back to writing, or we can wait till the end, however you want to do it. But I definitely wanted to introduce you and your poetry book.
Well, I kind of have to get off because he has a karate class.
Okay.
So maybe I'll come back next week and then share a piece with y'all.
Okay. Can you drop something in the comments so people can find you if they want to find you or find some of your work?
Okay. Yep.
All right. Thank you. Love you.
You want to see?
Hi. All of our little babies. Yeah. Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
All right, so we've gone through art, writing, movement. What's next?
Musical.
And although we've had so many different experts come and share their passion and joy with us, the beauty of this next modality is actually that
it's collective.
You are the creator of your own creative expression. I hope that was the message that you were able to get. So what we would like to do for music is collectively create something. And I know it sounds crazy when I say it like that, but I promise this is something that we can get into. Ooh, sorry, just a worm. Ooh, very ugly. Just a worm one. Hey, worm. Anyway, we were introduced to something like a sound circle the other day, and we wanted to do that here because music is one of those things that could literally, you could use it to listen or you could use it to create in order to creatively express yourself. Me personally, I like to do both. How many times have you been able to get out of a mood or get into a mood because of music? It's that powerful. Those sound vibrations are very, very powerful. I mean, when we use those to creatively express ourselves, we're channeling that power and that energy. All right. So I want you guys, if you can, to take yourselves off of mute. And then, if you can,
and it's just anything, any sound that you make is an expression. It could be a ee, ee. We're just going to collectively make music. We got some instruments over here. I'm going to be on the cymbals, a little chime. But this is going to be our creative space together just to express. If you want to tap on the desk or whatever you have, we're going to, Sean sing. So I think she's going to be singing. If we have any other singers on the line, let's make some music.
We need a bass beat. So can someone start us off with some bass beat? It could be a clap, it could be a tap, but it needs to be consistent. It's the bass beat that we're starting with.
Okay, let's go with it. Gratitude. Gratitude. Anybody else got a word?
I mean, you're gonna give me a change of doing all the instruments at once.
Nah.
I have no rhythm. I have no rhythm. I have no rhythm. I have no rhythm. That's why I listen to rock music.
I don't hear you now.
Do you believe in you? Do you believe in you? Do you? Hey, that was it! Good job, guys!
Tuna fish.
Tuna fish.
Tuna fish for the win.
Sounds of the ocean.
Wild talk.
That was so dope, guys. Wow. Thank you guys for participating in that portion. That was dope. How did that feel? Anybody want to say?
Embarrassing.
She said embarrassing.
Did anybody else feel that way?
So do we need to do it again? Do we need a redo, a do-over?
No. No. So for the music portion, I do have a song that I was gonna play for you guys that I actually wrote.
Sean's a whole musician out here on these streets.
No.
That's why she didn't even pick a musician to come to an expert, because she's the expert of all experts.
And everything I do. All right, so before you hear the song, I want you to know that the word equanimity means the stillness of the mind. Equanimity means the stillness of the mind. I've been working on my equanimity. 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 I've been working on my equanimity, because I want to see a shift in my energy, plus my energy be having me behaving all erratically, because I lack inner peace. I gotta be honest with myself to reach my destiny. The past and the future really got the best of me, Skipping over moments that's important, because I'm really sleep. And waking up means that I gotta face me. Not ready for inner demons, but need peace. I need something for real that's like concrete and that will never leave. But that's only me. Yeah, that's only me. So that's only me. So I've been working on my equanimity. Trying to be still, but the pain's so real. My mind keeps racing, and I'm really spacing. Somebody save me. I've been trying to be still, but the pain's so real. My mind keeps racing, and I'm really spacing. Somebody save me. You. They say you. You can save you. That's what it say. That's what the song said. I didn't say it. That's the song say you can save you. No, that's a little something I made.
Hey, I had a little story that I told the other day about my this is Lola. I'm her mama. I had went river floating with some friends recently, and my girlfriend, Lou, we were going down the thing, and everybody kept floating into like the rocks and the trees, and so I disconnected myself because I was like, I can't do what y'all are doing. And she was like literally screaming, help me. So wasn't moving her arms, like wasn't like doing anything to like get herself out of the situation. And it was such a like aha moment. We do so often where we're like, that's the outsourcing. We like, please, someone help me. Anyone help me, like fix me so that I don't have to do it myself, because then I'd have to like accept all the ways that I am imperfect. I love that.
Yes.
I love her.
That was dope.
That's
Thank you guys. Anybody else want to share on the music portion?
Or any other creative
Anything.
expressions that anyone would like to share? Because I'm a firm believer that we all have gifts inside of us, whether we know it or not. We just have to tap into these creative expressions, tap into expression. You okay over there?
I don't know where the other bruises came from. Can I sing for you guys?
Please.
It's like the tiniest. Okay. Little girl, don't be so blue. I know what you're going through. Don't let it beat you up. Hating walls and getting scars only makes you who you are. Only makes you who you are. No matter how much your heart is aching, there is beauty in breaking. Yeah, yeah. When you're broken in a million little pieces, and you're trying, but you can't hold on anymore. Every tear forgets for a reason. Don't you stop believing in yourself when you're broken.
Yay!
No.
Dope. This is so good. I want to do this every day. You guys down? Everybody? This is so dope, man. This really warms my heart. I'm so full of gratitude right now. So grateful for all of you. Thank you so much.
I can share my art. I can share some art.
Oh yeah, and then I want to make sure we see Queen's piece before we go also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you talk about like abstract, I feel like this is where this inspiration was. Queen. So I don't know. I just kind of do whatever flows. I love flowers and sunflowers. So again, to that no color piece is there. I don't know if you could tell, but it's a bunch of assortment of flowers. And then this one was, I don't know, I was feeling kind of down and I needed to remind myself of my power. So it's a fist and a bunch of positive words of affirmations and powers that I want to, qualities that I want to remind myself that I embody. So this is my little expression. I love trees. I love nature. So when I get outside, I kind of get inspired to do stuff like this. And that's one of many expressions. Like I used to say I'm a fake artist, but I don't say that anymore because I'm an artist. That's right. We all are artists. So
are you gonna show us some art?
Yeah.
Yay! Somebody asked to see the pregnant one earlier.
I'm gonna send it to him because hold on.
Ooh.
So
beautiful.
It's huge. It's huge.
I love it.
It's big.
It's so beautiful, Queen.
Oh my.
And these are the ones that were exhibited. I don't have all of them up. This is a part of it. It's like another really big one like this. So this was exhibited in this one was in a Caribbean exhibit.
Festival? Or exhibit.
Exhibit, yeah. This one I think I just brought it down too. Hold on. So this one was it's called Sky Juice. So I painted it for my time I spent in Jamaica. One of my favorite things about Jamaica was the sky juice. It's like you have so just picture a little Rastaman on the corner with a little frozen cart, and he has Ziploc bags, and he has different color like juices that he puts in the bag, and that's what you call sky juice. Wow. So that was one of my favorite things about being in Jamaica, because it was a hard time for me. But that one, and this is my famous Blue Lady collection. This is the first Blue Lady. Ooh. So Ricky took this painting and made it hers. I'm not allowed to have it anymore. This is a bunch of other little paintings back here, but right. But it's something about the blue for me. Like I said, blue is, you know, tranquil. It's, I don't know. I felt like that's the color I connected with the most. Here is the, oh, this one's not finished yet. This is another piece. And that's what I do. Like when I'm going through my issues, I just sit down, and I like to do lines and circles and things like that. So, and I like a lot of different colors mixing into each other. And then this is a little bit of plaster. You can see where the texture is in there. I like to do plaster painting. One more I'm going to show you.
Yes.
That's dope. Queen?
Oh, the internet's gone. What you do, baby? Unplugged it. I don't even need a
Me
phone
unplugging
it? It's okay. You didn't know. It's okay. It's connected through the phone. That's how the internet was connected.
Kind of when I was coming out my depression. And then this is my texture art. So I like plaster.
Okay.
So this, and that's my fun stuff that I do to express myself. You know, that's my fun art. That's what I call it, fun art.
Fun art. I like that.
Art became work for me. You know, I do have one more I'm going to show y'all. Hold on, because I was talking to you earlier about the different mixed media ones. So I don't know why I don't have this one. I think it's the colors is why I don't have this one up. This is kind of like a mood I was in. I don't really know. But see, so it has texture that comes off of it.
Gosh, it's like raised.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So that's
that is dope.
Queen is so talented.
Really, seriously.
She's being modest because she does so much more. So much more. Jack of all trades and a master of all.
That's true.
You know, I wanted to say something to something.
You there, Queen? Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to the connection. I do want to honor you guys' time, so you know, we always wrap up.
The Queen comes back.
Thank you guys for engaging in that circle. That was awesome. When we express, sorry, go ahead.
When we express our feelings, concerns, or pleasures appropriately, we stay in control. Tap into different modalities to see which suits you best. Drawing, painting, coloring, any creative expression. Tap into it. We all have gifts inside of us, things that we're good at.
Even you.
So next week, Joy Workshop number 10. You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. You are what you eat.
So I haven't eaten anything today, so I guess I'm nothing.
No, join us next week as we talk about plant-based eating, the direction that we're going in as it relates to mental health. Because what we don't know is a lot of the things that we're consuming on a daily basis, we don't really know where it's made from or where it comes from and how it affects us mentally. So that's something that we're going to dive in deeply with our facilitator.
Wow. Can you believe our first workshop was April the 22nd?
And now it's going to be July next week.
Yes, and then we're moving into July, and it's coming to an end. We have really enjoyed being in this space with you all. You have no idea.
It's helped me heal. I'm still healing through this, gaining this information and sharing this space with you guys. So thank you for allowing us to share space with you and sharing energy and being transparent. And we call it a safe space because it's a non-judgmental space. Whatever happens here, and we are all okay with that. That's the biggest thing, to be okay, whether you're okay or not. It's okay. That's the message.
Again, big shout out to Black Coffee. Please tap into this community. It's a powerhouse.
And you can also find our shirts on their website.
And we just got a new color. It's yellow, the color of joy. Shantice and our tour is called the Joy Tour. And if you were looking for us online, you can find us on all social media platforms. Here's our email address, our website. Our number is also listed. We have a 24/7 hotline for those who are suffering. You can call, reach out to us if you just need someone to talk to, a non-judgmental person to talk to, some validation. You can count on us. And if you do not feel comfortable texting us, you can hit us on our website. We have an anonymous chat, to where you can chat with us anonymously and you don't have to tell us who you are.
And if you're interested in supporting us monetarily, we do have both Cash App and PayPal, and all donations are tax deductible. So thank you guys once again every week, as always. Again, I'm going to send you that survey as I do each week. Please try to fill it out to the best of your ability. As we stated, it is something that can help us get grants in the future as we continue to do this work for communities. You guys have any questions or comments? I'm so full right now. So full.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you, Derica.
It takes a lot to sit down and be with yourself and know that you being here is you choosing to invest in your mental wellness.
Right. That's right. We'll continue to be here for you. You keep showing up. We'll all just be here together.
Yes. And we celebrate you as well.
Thank you. We love you guys so much. Have a peaceful day and a joyous day.